Hello, Joe here from Infiniti of Tacoma. I'm going to do something a little bit different. I have these two Infinitis I need to do my walk around videos of, but since I have two pretty unique models that we don't always have at the same time, I figured I'd take this opportunity to do a video educating you about the M series, specifically the third generation of the M, which is also the last generation. This generation was made from 2011 all the way to 2019 when it was discontinued. There is different variations of the product that had a name change, but basically it ended as a Q70, but it started off as the M. So we have a 2019 Q70 all-wheel drive right here, and then on this side we have a 2012 M37X all-wheel drive as well. So this is not a 2011, it's not the first year, but this is the second year of the new redesigned M series. These are both for sale at the time of making this video. So I guess if you're in the market for an M product, we have a pretty good selection. I also have another M series here, and we have another M56 that we just sold. Unfortunately, I'd love to have that one for the video. So talking about these vehicles, basically they're very, very similar. So you might be wondering what the difference are between an M37 or M series and a Q70. Well, I guess that's a trick question because there really isn't that big of a difference. They're pretty much the same vehicle. So we have this 2012 M37. It started off its third and last generation. So the M started off as the M45. It first arrived in the early 2000s. I think it was 2001 or 2002 when the M45 arrived. It was kind of a polarizing design. It really had a cool looking angular wedge shape to it. In fact, it was designed by a famous Italian car designer, Pininfarina. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. He's known to design many beautiful automobiles, especially Italian ones, specifically lots of Ferraris. So the M45 was kind of a love it or hate it Infiniti. It was only offered with a 4.5 liter V8. At the time, the output was 345 horsepower, and it was only available with rear-wheel drive. Pretty much like a hot rod luxury sedan. And then we had the second generation of the M come out, and that was really the hit. When the second generation of the M came out, that's really when it gained traction and became a really good selling model for Infiniti. In fact, when the second generation of the M came out, it was doing really well in magazine comparison tests. In fact, pretty much at one point, every magazine comparison test it was winning. That's right around the time when I started for Infiniti. So it was exciting. I really liked the original M45, but to see the new M come out and get a lot of favorable press and have a lot more versatility, that was cool, because the new M was not just available with a V8, but it was also available with a 3.5 liter V6, that same V6 you'd find in the G35, FX35, 350Z, Maxima. It was used in a lot of Nissan and Infiniti products, a fantastic engine. In fact, that was such a popular choice that the V6 M ended up outselling the V8 version of the M, so much so that eventually the V8 M was hardly selling at all. Most people would buy the V6 version of the M by the time production ended. So we had that generation of the M. It was doing really well. You had it with a V6 or a V8, and then you could also get it with all-wheel drive. That generation of the M ended obviously in 2010. Then enters the 2011 redesigned M series, and then they changed the name to M37 because at the time Infiniti named its models by the displacement of its engine. Before, the M35 had a 3.5 liter V6, so it was the M35, and then the M45 had a 4.5 liter V8, so that was the M45. But now we have the M37 that features a 3.7 liter V6, that same V6 we see in the 370Z, and a lot of other great Infiniti products. And then they did offer a larger V8, a 5.6 liter V8, same V8 that we find in the QX80. Fantastic engine. That V8 was very rare. It made 420 horsepower, really a big performance upgrade, but it was a big premium to pay for that V8. And the V6 made close to 330 horsepower, so most people thought the V6 was more than adequate, and that's why it ended up pretty much selling the majority of the M series were the V6. So we had some changes over the M product line over the years. They changed some packages, they updated some things here and there, but eventually in 2019 it was discontinued. That was the last year of the Q70. And how did it become the Q70? What happened? Why isn't that called the M anymore? Well, in 2014, Infiniti revamped all their model names. I don't know if it was the greatest choice or if that was the best choice for an Infiniti, but they revamped all their model names. And for instance, the FX became the QX70, the EX became the QX50, and the M series became the Q70. So it was the Q70 3.7 if it had the V6, or it was a Q70 5.6 if it had the 5.6 liter V8. All right, really an amazing product. So obviously they haven't made a lot of changes to the M over the years, and some people could say that's a good thing and some people could say it's a bad thing. Well, it is a bad thing. Back in 2019, when you have an M series that you're trying to, sorry, I called it M series. Back in 2019, when you had a Q70 that you're trying to compete with, E-Class Mercedes, 5 Series BMWs, nice Jaguar XF, really a great mid-size luxury products, and the M not really being updated very much. By 2019, it was kind of getting long in the tooth. The technology was getting old, so that's probably one of the reasons why sales started lagging on the Q70, and from a new car perspective, that's not a good thing. But the other thing too is that the popularity of sedans in general in the US market is waning. Most people don't buy coupes and sedans in the US market. A lot of people like to buy trucks and crossover SUVs. Those are the hot products. So I guess you can't fault Infiniti completely for letting the Q70 kind of languish and not updating it, because they probably saw the writing on the wall. They probably said, okay, we could spend a bunch of money updating and redesigning this product, but really this is a product that's losing more and more market share, and it's probably not a great idea to focus our money and resources on a mid-sized luxury sedan where we could put our money and resources into new products over here. Like we have this new QX55, we have the QX50, and then we have a redesigned QX60 coming along. I mean, these mid-size and compact crossovers, these are the bread and butter. These are what pays the bills these days in the automotive world. And if you're kind of sad about coupes and sedans going, I guess the only one you can blame is yourself, because you and your parents, and well, probably not your grandparents, but you and your parents aren't buying sedans and coupes anymore. You're buying QX60s and QX50s and QX80s. So Infiniti is building and investing more in these. These are great products. In fact, this Red Sport 400 right here, 400 horsepower all-wheel drive sedan, it's built on the same advanced front engine platform that underpins the M series and the Q70. These are mid-sized luxury sedans, and they might not look that fast on the outside. They might look like maybe grandpa's or granddad's or your uncle's big luxury sedan, but these actually have a lot of sports car DNA baked into them. These are built in the same advanced front engine platform, not only as the Infiniti Red Sport, but the Nissan 370Z sports car. The engine, the transmission is pretty much identical to what you get in the Nissan 370Z. So having that rear-wheel drive platform and that powerful V6, it really bodes well for performance. And on top of that, these have an intelligent all-wheel drive system that's got a lot of sports car pedigree. The intelligent all-wheel drive system is borrowed from an early version of the Nissan Skyline GTR. So this is an all-wheel drive system that's not just going to improve your traction in wet and slippery conditions, but it's also going to improve your performance. You can get in that power a little bit earlier through the corners, and that all-wheel drive system will pull you through. These all-wheel drive systems use a trick electromagnetic differential. So under normal driving conditions, it's 100% rear-wheel drive. But as the rear wheels lose power, in a matter of milliseconds, it can send up to 50% of the vehicle's power to the front wheels. It's an amazing all-wheel drive system. It's been really reliable. Infiniti has been putting these all-wheel drive systems in our vehicles since the early 2000s. And we still use it to this day in 2021 products. Really an amazing all-wheel drive system. Same all-wheel drive system you have in the high-performance Red Sport 400. Alright, so let's talk about the engines a little bit. I think the engines is probably one of the biggest selling points of this product, but because if you value a vehicle that you can really put a lot of miles on, this is a vehicle that can do it. These VQ series engines really have an amazing reputation for quality and durability. I own two Infiniti products myself. I have a G35 sedan, a 2005, and I have a 2013 FX37, which has the exact same engine as these two vehicles. In fact, my FX37 mechanically is just basically a crossover version of these vehicles. It's a very mechanically similar, same all-wheel drive system, similar suspension components, same all-wheel drive system. So this has evolved over the years. It originally evolved from the VQ35 3.5 liter V6 that we've come to know so well. A lot of reasons people like these engines is because they have reputations for going very long time. I've been in Infiniti and Nissan for close to 20 years, about 17 years at Infiniti. I've seen variations of these engines come on trade on vehicles or come in for service with 200 and 300,000 miles, which is not surprising because these engines are actually designed to have a service life of 300,000 miles. They feature maintenance-free timing chains, so you never need to worry about the cost replacement of timing belts. The timing chains are zero maintenance. They're also the silent type, and they're designed to last the service life of the engine, which incidentally is 300,000 miles, so they definitely go that long. And timing chains are nice because timing belts can be expensive to replace. In luxury automobiles, generally they're a little bit more expensive to replace because sometimes it's harder to get at the vehicles, and usually they're bigger engines, so they have more belts versus a simple four-cylinder engine. So generally when you do timing belt replacements in vehicles that have them, it can be $1,000 and up, give or take a few hundred here or there, to replace timing belts. So that's one maintenance item you won't have to worry quite a bit or ever on the Infiniti. So with the M and the Q70, there really hasn't been a whole many different variations. The one unique variation that they offered for a little bit, I think it was 2014 or 15 when they first started offering this version of the Q70. It was called the Q70L, which is a long wheelbase version of the Q70. I think it was about 5 or 6 inches additional length in the wheelbase, and most of that ended in the rear seats. So it was like a long wheelbase luxury vehicle, which is pretty popular like on full-size luxury sedans. For instance, like the 7 Series BMW, the Mercedes-Benz S-Class, they do have long wheelbase versions of those for executives. And then the Q70L had also some cool features like, you know, heated rear seats, power rear reclining seats, more comfortable options for executives, rear power sunshade operation from the second row, things like that. So a really cool vehicle. And the nice thing about it too is that the Q70 is a mid-size luxury sedan. So it's actually one of the few mid-size luxury sedans that you can get with a long wheelbase for increased rear seat comfort. So that was a really cool version of the Q70. If you want to learn more about that, we do have some videos on our Infiniti, on our YouTube channel, Infiniti of Tacoma 1, where I talk about the Q70 long wheelbase version. So features and technology. So we're in 2019 Q70. They've changed the name of the packages over the years, but pretty much all the features and technology you can get in 2011 are available in 2019. They added a few things here and there, but for the most part, the available features did not change much. So this is a copy of the sticker for the 2019. Unfortunately, the 2012, it's a little bit too old for me to generate a sticker from our dealership data system. But this has a proactive package. That was $3,300. We had an original MSRP of $57,185. The proactive package gives you forward emergency braking, predictive forward collision warning and intelligent cruise controls. So you have adaptive cruise control that goes with the flow of traffic. Distance control assist, blind spot warning, and intervention. So it'll steer you back in your lane if there is a vehicle in your blind spot. Backup collision intervention. So if you're backing up and the vehicle is behind you, it will automatically hit the brakes. Lane departure warning. And lane departure prevention, so it'll steer you back in your lane if you start drifting out of it. Adaptive front lighting system, so the headlights will turn into the corners. Active trace control, brakes individual wheels to help the vehicle rotate a little bit better through the corners. Pre-crash seat belts, and an eco paddle. So those are the optional equipment on the 2019 Q70. The rest of the features are standard. There were two Bose sound systems available on the Q70. This has the basic Bose sound system. Actually, the older one has the 11 speaker. I think it's 11 speaker Bose sound system. It even has speakers built into the seats. Pretty cool stuff. Both of these have heated and air conditioned seats. Most of the M's that you'll find have this feature. It was pretty much standard. Maybe there might be a few rental examples, but honestly, I can't remember 2011 newer M that I've seen that doesn't have the air conditioned seats. And this is a nice feature. On a lot of vehicles they say a term called ventilated seats. Well, there's a difference between ventilated seats and air conditioned seats. This actually has a little air conditioning unit, believe it or not, underneath the seat, so it blows air conditioned air through the perforated holes. So obviously that feels really nice. Ventilated seats ventilates like cabin temperature air, so the air definitely is cooler and it helps. You know, having that air circulation is definitely helpful, but it's a lot more helpful when it's actually cooled air, so that's also something to think about. 7-speed automatic transmission. This is a rock solid torque converter, 7-speed automatic. We still use this on brand new 2021 Infinitis. It's been used in the Z. It's used in many Infiniti products over the years. Great transmission. It does have manual mode. You can pull the shifter back, push it to the left, up to upshift, back to downshift, and it will give you rev match downshifts for a sportier sound and feel. On the sport models of the M and the Q70, you can also get steering wheel paddle shifters. This one doesn't have it. This one has the nice leather interior. There is also a higher interior package. This one doesn't have it, but our 2012 has, where you get the semi-inline leather seating, a little bit nicer design on the seats. We'll see that when we move towards into the 2012 model. We all love that Infiniti analog clock. That's a cool feature Infiniti's kind of done away with. You know, things are changing over the years, but that's one feature that I did like a lot. The infotainment system has not changed a whole lot since 2012, but on this one, I'm pretty sure it does have HD radio. Obviously, you're not going to have HD radio on the older ones. And this also has a feature you didn't have early on called backup collision intervention. I'm pretty sure that's not available in the 2012. I'll have to double check, but I thought it was a little bit later where it came to the M series. So the backup collision intervention is basically if a vehicle drives behind you, it'll automatically hit the brakes, or if a person, you know, walks behind you while you're backing up, they'll automatically hit the brakes to hopefully stop you from hitting somebody or something. Power adjustable steering wheel that tilts and telescopes, heated steering wheel. These are all features you'll probably find pretty standard on the M's and Q70s across the board. This one has the, the blind spot warning indicator is right there. Very nice, comfortable sedan indeed. And obviously, being a mid-size sedan, interior space is excellent, and obviously if you do have the long wheelbase version, the Q70L, I have another 4 or 5 inches of interior space back here. It's pretty remarkable. Obviously a good amount of trunk space, and one thing that you have on the 2019 Q70 that you didn't have on the earlier ones is the soft closed trunk, which is definitely a premium luxury car feature. You don't have to slam the trunk, you close just a little bit and it does it the rest of the way for you. Or obviously on this one, this 2012, which is fully loaded, so if it did have it, this one would have it. Obviously it doesn't have that feature. So really a great mid-size luxury sedan. Obviously you get great performance being built on a sports car platform. You have great driving dynamics. You have an amazing all-wheel drive system. You have that Japanese build quality. You know it has a great track record of reliability using components still used to this day and very reliable. Infiniti is that amazing VQ engine. Okay. So this is the older Q70. We were just in the 2019 Q70. I call this a Q70. This is the M37. See, I even get confused. So I was just in the 2019 Q70. Now I'm in the 2012 M37. So this one actually has more equipment than the 2019. This one has the upgraded Deluxe touring package. So this one has the semi-anline leather seats. So you can see it's a little bit of a fancier design on the leather and stuff, and the stitching on this seat versus the Q70. So obviously you can get the basic seats back then, or the nicer seats back then. And in 2019 you could get the basic seats, or you could get these same nicer seats as an option. And then I talked about the Bose sound system. This has a top line Bose sound system. You even have speakers built into the seats. So two Bose sound systems available in the Q70, which is nice. Obviously this is the heated cooled seats. This is your drive mode selector. They both have them. You have Sport, Standard, Eco, and Snow. That will make changes to steering effort, transmission shift points. And if it does have the Eco pedal, it'll make give you a little bit more gas pedal resistance to encourage more economical driving if it does have the Eco pedal. This one has it. I'm pretty sure the 2019 has it as well. Now obviously you can see that the infotainment system, the whole dashboard and stuff looks very similar in the 2019 and the 2011. This has the upgraded wood trim. That's also optional in the newer ones. The design might be a little bit different on the 19s versus the 2012 like this one, but they did have the upgraded wood interior. This one I think actually has a silver flake that they kind of polish into the wood. They use a wood laminate to give it that really cool look. Definitely a nice feature. And of course the steering wheel. Everything is very similar on the 2019, and you know, obviously you can look at that as a negative and a positive. From the positive side, well, think about this: if you are buying the 2019 Q70, they've been making this same basic car, you know, for years and years and years. So they probably worked all the kinks out by 2019. All these switches and components and stuff like that. Infiniti and you know, Nissan, they do sell these in Japan as Nissans. They've been making them for a very long time. These are built and assembled in Japan. I think, in my personal opinion, obviously this is my opinion, this is probably going to be one of the more reliable mid-sized luxury sedans that you're going to buy if that's what you're looking for. All right, nice comfortable interior on both of them. Hopefully this video was informative, whether you're looking at these two particular M37 or Q70, or if you're just looking for information in general. We're a very big fan of Infiniti products. Obviously we're an Infiniti retailer. Hopefully we've been a great resource for information for you. Feel free to comment or ask us any questions. We'd love to get your input, and if you're a little bit ways away, we still want to help you make the right decision on buying an Infiniti, even if it's not from us. So feel free to ask us any questions, and thanks so much for watching our videos today.